I'm giving away this championship belt once I hit 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Angle Show. Today we got a big one. I want to kick things off with an AEW star being gone. VSK, he has confirmed the news that he's no longer in AEW under contract. You might remember VSK, he also went by Jeeves K when he was repackaged. They decided to repackage him when they decided to do this faction that really just had no plans. Arya Davari, Parker Boudreaux, I mean, they don't even really get used anymore. So here's the thing, man. AEW, a lot of people can criticize booking. We can talk about booking, business decisions, and stuff like that. But if there's one thing that Tony Khan does pretty well, I like the fact that Tony Khan is not openly releasing people. I do think releasing people could be a solution to his company because you're bringing in people, you're not using people. I don't really see it as any different as WWE releasing talent and then giving them a 90-day non-compete clause. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing a non-compete clause, you're still getting paid. But at the end of the day, I do respect the fact that AEW is just not signing people and releasing people whenever they feel like it. It does help when it comes to job security. But I expect a lot more people to be leaving the company because there's just a lot of people not being used. And you tend to forget that these people are even under contract anyways. You might see them on ROH, which was kind of the case with VSK, but it's not a continuous thing. And if it's not a continuous thing, if you don't have plans for people, that's where it could kind of become tricky. Ronda Rousey revealed on Instagram in a new post, she did confirm that she was retired. And it's kind of interesting because we know that Ronda Rousey was leaving WWE. There's been some talk about potentially maybe seeing her in the UFC. And then at one point we talked about it on this channel that Dana White pretty much confirmed that she won't be part of UFC. Dana White is not going to tell you that Ronda Rousey will be part of UFC, but it is very clear that UFC 300 is something that's going to be incredibly massive for the company, and they are going to try to put as many big stars on that card as possible. So is Ronda Rousey really retired? And that's kind of why I want to talk about this, because Ronda Rousey right now could be at home being a mom, being a mother, being a wife, and she could be doing all of these different things. But really what we don't know is whether or not Ronda Rousey may or may not get back in a WWE ring. And if she doesn't get back into a WWE ring, would she be getting back into a UFC octagon? And the reality is, guys, when it comes to WWE, and more specifically when it comes to WWE and everything they've done throughout the years, we know that WWE is more than willing to bring somebody in for a cheap pop. And I think that's kind of what we should expect with Ronda Rousey. I think Ronda Rousey is probably done being a full-time wrestler. I think Ronda Rousey more than likely isn't going to be wrestling anytime soon. But on a flip of a switch, if WWE wants to make that call, I do believe Ronda Rousey would show up, which is also part of the UFC stuff, right? I think Ronda Rousey may want to do UFC. If she does UFC, she can go and clear it out and do whatever it is that she likes. If she wins, great. If she loses, it's still not a bad thing. But I think that could be something more with more potential. But obviously on her Instagram, when you see the caption, and it's basically her acknowledging the fact that she's retired, there's never really been a formal announcement, and there's never really been a confirmation that she's retired. But I do think Ronda still has more to give, whether it's MMA or WWE. I fully expect that to happen. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, what the future holds. But like I said, WWE brings people in for those one-offs, those WrestleMania moments, things like that. And especially she retires literally right as like this merger is happening. I feel like that's kind of silly, but not towards her. I just think it's kind of silly overall, considering the fact that there's probably more money to be paid for Ronda Rousey, considering that she has a relationship with both WWE and UFC. Guys, I want to turn our attention to Emmanuel. Very, very, very interesting stuff. So he was speaking at this conference, and basically he was talking about the stock pricing, right? And he says that his belief with the TKO stock price took a hit for multiple different reasons. The first reason was Saudi Arabia's investment into the PFL. The PFL is a major competitor to the UFC. It's a growing business. It's not very successful just yet, but it's a growing business, and they seem to be doing pretty well. But the Saudi Arabia, the public investment fund, had invested in the PFL. Then there was also reports of NBC Universal being out of the mix for WWE Raw, which is interesting because we've all seen that SmackDown has joined up back onto USA Network, and NBC Universal's bringing that back. But the third reason is the most interesting reason of them all, because he believes that Vince McMahon still being in the company has lowered the stock. He says, I would say to you, there's plenty of interest in Raw right now. I know people are out there like NBC is out of the mix, and that's why it went down. I think there's three things that happened. One of them is being that they thought Raw was the best package. I saw a 40% increase, which was in line with expectations. 2, the PFL situation, and 3, probably Vince McMahon and our deal. Wanted to be able to put at any point in time his stock. So he is 78 years old. He's been working at this for decades and decades. So I think that's 3 back-to-back issues. Vince McMahon being involved in WWE, does it really hurt the WWE stock? If you're a stockholder, I'm curious to hear from you. If you're somebody who is investing in the WWE stock, I'm very, very curious to hear your opinions on this. I think Vince McMahon being involved in any capacity in 2023, in the capacity that he is right now as part of being chairman and stuff, I do believe it hurts the WWE. Whether it hurts the WWE stock or whether it hurts the WWE overall, maybe through creative or business decisions, I can see that definitely being the case. But I do see that being part of the problem, and I do think that WWE with TKO could be a lot better without Vince. I don't want to forget, like, I know what Vince's contributions were in the past when it comes to the business, and I know what he's built WWE to be. But I'm looking at Endeavor, who has been incredibly smart with the UFC, and I'm looking at Triple H, who has been incredibly great with the WWE. Alongside Nick Khan, it's almost like these superpowers have come together, yet the villain, for some reason, has like an inside, he has a job within. It's just crazy. But nonetheless, we're going to keep it moving because we've talked about this before. WWE Raw potentially moving nights, but now we got some updates I want to talk about. Emmanuel definitely getting people talking, obviously, because of the fact that there's been rumors of WWE Raw Moving Nights. WrestleVotes comes out and says, regarding the rumors of Raw Moving Nights, Endeavor is definitely open to it, which they have stated. I can say from a backstage, off-camera standpoint, there are tons of people who want Raw to continue on Monday, as is. Time will tell. We've talked about this before. It makes a lot of sense. Nick Khan has openly talked about it. Now you got Ari, you got WrestleVotes, you got all these people who are talking about this. It scares me to think that Raw could potentially not be on Monday. I'm telling you guys, this is what I want. I'm not the business decision holder, okay? I want Raw on Mondays, SmackDown on Tuesdays, NXT on Wednesdays. That's it. Simple as that. Thursdays and Fridays, do whatever. Rampage could be on Fridays. They can go earlier if they want. It doesn't really matter. But I want WWE to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is better logistically for the WWE. And I think regardless of Monday Night Football, who gives a shit about Monday Night Football? It doesn't matter. WWE will continue to kick ass on Monday nights. If you move Raw off Monday nights, I think that hurts Monday Night Raw. Move NXT to Wednesdays or Thursdays if you so choose. And if you're not going to move NXT to Wednesdays or Thursdays, then SmackDown should move off Fridays, go to Tuesday or Thursday. Simple as that. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt, so if you want to win, you should definitely go ahead and click subscribe.